Holy cow. Right off the bat. There we go. There we go. There we go, guys. Number 3. Holy cow. Look at that. Right there. Check out that fatty. Welcome back, fishing friends, to another adventure. Alright guys, I finally made it out. Man, I'd been sick with the flu, and we had crazy weather and different stuff going on. So I finally had a chance to get out here and do some fishing, and hopefully we'll have some success. Now the water here is really low, really low, and it's not moving very much. So we're going to see what we can do out here. Hey, if you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate all the support, and hopefully we'll have a great day of fishing today. And it's kind of chilly, I'd say low 50s, but we're going to give it a shot and see what we can come up with. Ooh, I can see a gar right there. Right down there, I can see him. Wow. He's just kind of chilling there. Anyway, so we're going to give it a shot and see what we can come up with, and hopefully have some luck. If not, then, you know, maybe we'll try something else. But let me get rigged up. I've got my usual stuff. I've got my 5-foot micro rig with, I think it's 6-pound line. Then I got my 2 bass rigs, which are 6-foot ugly sticks. And they've got 20-pound braid, 20-pound fluorocarbon leader. And both of them are Lew's reels. One I think is a 300, speed spin 300. The other one's a speed spin 200. And on the micro rig, it's a speed spin 100. All right, so let me get rigged up and we'll get started. Okay, guys. Check out this puppy. Hopefully you can see it there. This is the Team Arc Elite Series. This is the Z Series lipless crankbait. And I got that from the Monster Bass subscription box that I had got from Christmas from my sister. And this thing looks phenomenal in the water. So we're going to throw this around a little bit. Ooh, check that out. I know you guys can't see it on the camera, but holy cow, this thing looks good. It rattles. And it's just got an epic motion. Picked up a little bit of cabbage, but not much. It's not bad. Man, this thing looks good. So you guys have seen me fish here before. This is my spot. I fish from the other side over there, and then on the other side of the bridge. But right here is my spot. It's a little shallow on the flats, but once you get out in that channel, you're in pretty good shape. I wonder what happened to the log that was right out there in the middle. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Did I catch a stick? Yeah, there was a good sized log right out there, and either that thing came through in heavy rain, which we haven't had, or somebody kayaking, or maybe a beaver. Oh my gosh, guys, I can tell you how much I miss fishing. When I was sick, ooh, was that a hit? Oh my gosh. I got popped, guys, and I couldn't get him. What in the heck? On the Z series. There's no cabbage on there. That was a legit hit. Dang it. As I was saying, I am so happy I'm out fishing. When I had the flu being cooped up, oh, yeah, you guys don't want to catch that. But it gave me a chance to organize some supplies, and I did that nice video on the Polish backpack. Man, that thing is coming in handy. The thing is, guys, if you think about it, even if you're not like into bushcraft or camping or anything, you need to have a bag like that, not just in your vehicle, but have one at the places you go to. Like if you go to your parents' house or your grandparents' house, have a bag like that there, just with a change of clothes, you know, some basic supplies, either like some tools or multi-tool, some kind of a knife, but you need to have something there. Little medical kit, some survival stuff. You can hear the snow geese in the main part of the lake back there. My gosh, this thing is just phenomenal. Anyway, so I just have the one bag, but I'm definitely going to start expanding. Have one set up in different locations. I don't know what you call it. Some people call it a get home bag, a EDC type bag, even though you're not carrying it all the time with you. Even though EDC is everyday carry. Some people call it a loadout bag. I think, oh, when I think of a loadout bag, I think of when you're actually out there and you're gonna go camping, or you're gonna go for a hike. Maybe set up a tarp, do a little campfire, but it's just a good idea to have a couple of those bags where you frequent. Guys, I'm sold on these Z series crankbaits from T-Mark. These things are phenomenal. What do they run? Anywhere between, I think in the Monster Bass paperwork there, I think it's anywhere between $8 and $13. I'll have to double check, but with the rattle and the flash on that thing, that's phenomenal. The first time I used it, we didn't have much luck, but that's just because we're in the winter time and fish are lethargic. But I for sure wanted to test it today. Once again, there's a trail that leads to this really cool pond that I want to get to, but guess what? There was no notice on any of the websites, a Facebook page, that they're doing a controlled burn in that area. So the hiking area is closed. And it's a good hike to get to that pond, but I was all ready for it. I'm still a little winded from having the flu, but I could do it. Alright guys, so I'm going to throw this around some more and hopefully we'll get something. Oh yeah, one thing I was going to tell you guys. I always run a Fluorocarbon Leader. And sometimes I'll do a couple feet. 2.5 feet. But I think this year I'm going to shorten it up to right about a foot. Maybe 1.5 feet. Is there a specific reason why? No. Just to change it up a little bit. There's got to be something home out there. Anyway, so this is my backup plan. My main plan was to hike to that pond. But they had a little sign up right at the trailhead that said employees only. I was like, what on earth? Then there was about 15 government fire trucks, and we're talking feds because we're in a national wildlife refuge. And they're going to do a controlled burn in some of that area. Anyway, all right guys, I'm going to keep flipping this. Hopefully we'll have some luck. Alright guys, nothing on that Z-Series lipless crankbait. I'm going to switch to this little finesse jig. It's got like a body of a, it's kind of like a nymph body, and then there's some bucktail hair on it. And then it's got like regular silicone stuff, but I got a little craw trailer on there. I picked these up from Venom. It's a good little jig. So we're going to bounce that around and see what we can get. Alright guys, I heard of something that was kind of mind-boggling. So I follow some of these outdoor guys on YouTube and some bushcrafters, and I read quite a bit. Well, I was reading how a guy gets meatloaf, like regular meatloaf, and he dries the hell out of it. After it's been cooked, he dries it out, and it turns into kind of like almost like a pemmican. And he cuts it into, it looks almost like brownies, like chunks. And he'll take that with him when he's out on his hikes and adventures. I never heard of that before with meatloaf. And he's gets some good spices in there. And I guess the meatloaf recipe calls for eggs, of course, beef, onions, and a whole bunch of seasonings that he puts in there. But I would worry that because he was using eggs as part of it, and then you dry it out. I mean, I guess there's like powdered eggs or whatever, but I don't know. He has never had any issues of getting sick, and it keeps. So I don't know. If you've ever heard of anything like that, guys, let me know. Because that was like news to me. Ooh. Am I snagged? I can't be snagged. This thing is weedless. Oh, I did get caught on something. Okay, guys. Little bit of info on jigs. And this one's just got like a little 1/4 ounce weight on it. It's more like it's kind of like the size of a bitsy bug, maybe a little smaller. And that kind of finesse type deal. But jigs are just, you can catch anything on them year round, any kind of water. just in the wintertime like this, you just gotta move it a little bit slower, bounce it a little bit more. Got these logs right here. A year ago in April, the water was high and I was catching just crappie in there left and right. But I can see all the snags now, so I know where to avoid all that. But man, these gar that were coming up around these logs was incredible. But anyway, I'm just kind of hitting it through this channel, and it's got that nice crawdad look to it. I found a new company that does hand-tied bucktail jigs like this, and it's got a real sensitive weed guard on it. You almost can't, I mean, you can't see it when it's in the water. I haven't put my order in for them yet, but I need to do that. I found them during my flu episode because I was looking at the hand-tied bucktail jigs that MEPS has. They just started doing those. Hey, and don't get me wrong, those are phenomenal. But I was looking for something that has like a little weed guard. And then I found these. I'm not going to disclose quite yet the company because I'll talk more about them once I get the order in. But then I also have all those jigs I got from eBay. The guy had some ones that he makes, and I got like 20 of them for, it was like $1.50 a piece. I did a video on that. So I'm stocked up with jigs, getting ready for my fishing this summer in Iowa. I've got all my tubes ready. What on earth is that? It's got to be a rabbit in there. Well, I don't see any smoke. These dudes are supposed to be doing their prescribed burn, but if they're going to do it, they better get going because the wind's going to start picking up here pretty soon. There's a hawk back there going bananas. There's one other guy fishing here, and he took the trail all the way down to the mouth of this where it feeds into the main lake. So he was going that way, and I didn't want to crowd his little area there. Plus this is my spot here that I've always had some good luck on. Alright guys, hopefully you can see them. Check out those white pelicans. Man, they're just gliding. There's like a big marsh back in there where they're headed. That's cool stuff right there. Oop, are they going to circle back? Look, there's a whole bunch more of them. Trying to figure out where they want to go. Alright guys, so the fishing was a bust today. But I'm going to do a quick review. It's pretty much been a year since I've got this Ego Kryptek tackle bag. And man, this thing is freaking durable. And I'll leave a link to where I did the full review on it. I'm not going to do a full review. I'm just going to show you. I mean, it's frayed a little bit. You can kind of see down there on the bottom. On the sides, I added some straps and some D-rings. But man, this thing is just, that's a patch that comes with it. But this thing has just been absolutely durable. More D-rings and another strap here. And the back here's got all that cushion. And it's got the zipper compartment here, this big compartment there. The only thing I would say, if there was ever a negative or these are loop throughs and they don't snap in, but tons of room in here, tons of room in the side pockets, and of course I got the tackle trays going here. And so this is just absolutely perfect in terms of gear. Got my fish grippers in there. It's perfect to hold all your fishing gear. The other cool thing, if you're into like hiking or camping or bushcrafting, heck, this bag can work perfectly for that. I know it's a tackle bag, but with all these pockets on here, man, you could put your fire kit in one side. You could easily fit a canteen in there. Your survival stuff, like even your cook set down here. Or if you're just gonna go hiking, you could pack this thing with all your camera gear. So it's, you know, definitely been worthwhile in terms of a purchase for me. Okay, the other thing is, I've been wanting to do a series on really light tackle. So kind of like this haversack type setup for trout fishing. And I think this is going to work. This one's from the National Wildlife Federation. Just your typical haversack. And in here, this zipper, I've got like some snacks and stuff in there. In here, I got some Berkeley twitch tails, and I think I got my pliers. Let me set this up on there. So hopefully you're not getting a bad angle of the sun there. And the main zipping compartment, I gotta try to do this with one hand here. There we go. This thing holds quite a bit. So in there I've got all my MEPs, all my like trout spinners, and then I've got all like my hooks and trout magnets that I use for trout fishing. I got a bunch of jig heads in here. Just kind of like an all-purpose tackle deal for hooks. And so this little haversack can hold quite a bit. There we go. Come on. Sorry about that, guys. Tricky when you're doing this with one hand. So I think I'm going to do a series on that because this is light enough that I can hike in there with it and get it to some of these places where I go trout fishing in Iowa that are tough to get to. So this is going to be perfect for that. And just pack light. I can even carry some worms on the side here. I could put a water bottle. So, and I don't mind taking the big Kryptek bag, but some of the stuff I got to bushwhack through is thick, like this. So if I had and I'm not a haversack type person. I don't like how it just hangs, you know, with the one strap, but if it's just to get in there to go fishing, I'm not going to mind that. And there's different kinds of them, guys. You could pick these haversacks up for dirt cheap at a lot of places. Army Surplus has got a lot of them. This one I think I got, it was gifted with, I don't know, must have been a subscription to like Birds in Bloom or like a fishing magazine or something like that, but I got it. And at first I was like, what am I going to do with this? You know, I don't do any bird watching or go out really to do that kind of stuff. And these little mini day hikes I do. And I was thinking, you know, that'll actually work for that. And when I go fishing, trout fishing, I get out there. So I'm going to try that for sure this summer. But it can hold quite a bit of stuff. Okay, guys, so the fishing was a bust. It was brutal today. Tested a bunch of monster bass lures. Didn't go so well. It's just the time of year. But I got a chance to get out here to enjoy the outdoors. Guys, I'd been cooped up when I had that flu. Oh, and it just drove me nuts. All right. Hey, hope you guys are having a great 2022 with your fishing adventures. Drop some comments on what you're catching out there. But the other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is this neck knife. Now, I'm not a bushcrafter, but I do go hiking and I do quite a bit of fishing, as you know. But this thing, I finally found, got it out of storage, some cordage. I knew I had it somewhere. So I made a lanyard for it. This is the Condor Mini Bushlore. And it comes with a leather sheath. And I made this little lanyard also for it. But this little knife is just perfect for camp chores, for when I'm doing my fishing stuff, cut line, if I need to scale something, cut up bait. Cutting up bait is a big one. But this is just phenomenal. It's a great knife. It's sturdy. I did a video where I've got all the specifics on it. I think the blade is like maybe 3 inches or 3.5. Total length, I think, is 7, maybe. Don't quote me on that, but somewhere back in there I've got some video on where I kind of go through the specifics. But this thing is just perfect for a neck knife for when you're out on the trail. So if you're looking for one, the price on these are fantastic. I think I paid $35 for mine. They may have gone up a little bit. These come from El Salvador. They're all handmade, and it's a full tang knife, and it's just perfect. The sheath, you can wear it on your belt, and I converted it into a neck knife when I'm out there fishing. Hardly even know it's there. It's good stuff. All right, guys. I just had a weird experience coming out of the refuge. I couldn't film, but they were doing a burn for about a mile, like right off the road. And so I had to follow a U.S. Forest Service truck out. He led me through there, and boy, there were stretches in there where the smoke just covered the road and you couldn't see anything. So I was just like white knuckling it through there, hopefully trying to get where I could see his taillights. And then there was a guy like on a quad behind me to make sure I got through. And then I made it out the exit, and it was kind of interesting to see how they do that. But I had to open the windows now and a bit ago air the truck out. Had to shut off the AC because, man, the smell of smoke was just so thick. Anyway, it's kind of a weird thing to go through, but it was kind of cool to see how they take care of it. All right, guys, so I'm heading to go get something to eat, and then I'm heading home. Hope you guys have a great rest of the day. I'm sorry that the fishing was kind of a bust, but I want to get into a quick review of the Kryptek tackle bag since I've had it for a year and I just love it. All right, until next time, I'll see you then. Bye-bye. Hey, what's up, guys? So the fishing adventure pretty much was a bust, and I'm going to go through some info here. Normally, I don't like to share locations where I'm fishing, or spot burn, but this is a place, people need to check out. It's National Wildlife Refuge. I've done videos on this before and kind of showed you. Plus, I'm a teacher, and any kind of chance I can to get some information out there in the interest of education or teaching, of course I'm going to do it. So there's Tishomingo, Oklahoma, and the place where I go fishing, so I'm going to scroll down here to it. Here we go. The place I enjoy fishing is right here, and it's such a cool place. So the bridge is right here. And the cool thing about the bridge is when there's been a lot of rain and heavy rain that fills up, and it is perfect. Well, this time, the water was real low, and things weren't just working out very well fishing there. That was plan B. Let me get up here and show you where plan A was and what happened there. Okay, so plan A was to get to this pond right here. And in order to get there, I have to park here, and then I can hike to get into the pond. Well, as I was going past checkpoint Alpha right here, this guy slowed me down. He was on a quad, 2 guys, and they said, hey, as you head back out, you're going to have to go real slow. They're doing a prescribed burn. And I said, well, what about pulling into where the trail is to get to the pond? He said, no, that's closed off. It's going to be closed off for a while. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to head out then. So I made it just past the turn in. I made it right there. And the plan was to, just to leave, but I made it to that spot and I had to pull over because the smoke on the road was just so thick. And I'll mark here where they were doing the burn. So that whole stretch is where they were doing the prescribed burn. So I just kind of sat in that little spot where I put the mark. Well, a few minutes later, a truck pulls up, and it was one of the guys that was on the quad that had stopped me before. And he said, hey, just follow me. I got to get to the entrance. And I said, sure. And I was so dumb. I should have got my camera to record uh, going through there. I mean, it was white knuckling. There was so much smoke going through there. I could barely see the back of his truck. And there was a couple times where I couldn't see it at all. And I was like, man, what if he stops? I'd rear end him. Now the road was straight, so I didn't have to worry about, veering off into the ditch. But look at that. That's a good stretch of road where they were burning all that. And they were just, clearing out the forest floor there. And holy cow. Now I know what they mean when they say do not drive into smoke, because that it was just a mess. I had the AC on low and had my windows up, but instantly you could smell all that smoke. You could see ash blowing across the road. So I shut the air the air off, and I just I kept going through it, following him, and finally up at the top here he pulls off right in there, and then I just keep going and kind of wave to him. But one thing I noticed is that during the drive, there were a couple spots where it was a little clear, and I could see that the guy in the quad was behind me. But in little stretches along the road, once in a while, like here, right in there where I put those marks, there were guys standing in the ditch there, kind of monitoring the fire. They didn't even have a mask on or anything. That helmets, the shovels and like those rubber flapper things to put out a fire, and they were just kind of monitoring things. And they and the smoke was thick there, and it didn't bother them. So I made it out of there. But the thing was to get to that pond, Dick's Pond down there, for a hike and fish adventure. Well, that was closed. So right then my trip was a bust. So I go to Plan B down to the little bridge over Sandy Creek, and guess what? The water's so shallow there. Not much was going on, and so that's how come I cut the video short there, because you're not going to see me catch anything. And I tested tons of these mega bass lures, and I was like, well, this isn't going to go anywhere. Fished with the twitch tail for a while, didn't catch anything. But the positive was I did get to talk about the neck knife and the Kryptek tackle bag, because I've had it for a year now. And of course, the haversack, that's going to work out great for a light setup when I go trout fishing up in Iowa. That's going to come in clutch. So there's another bag I'm trying to get my hands on, and it's proving to be a little difficult, but I'm going to save that for another time. And of course, these new jigs that I've found, I'm going to order. These hand-tied bucktail jigs with a little weed guard on. I've got to get my order in for that here pretty soon. And then I just, picked up that order from, I think it was, eBay, where I got 20 finesse jigs, swim jigs, football head jigs, or whatever, for just dirt cheap. And those are great. They've got the silicone skirts, but I found these bucktail jigs, and I'm so excited about it. I know Meps has theirs, but these other ones are a little bit cheaper. So I'm excited. And they have a little bit different look and different color. different head style. So, and they do have the weed guards, so I'm excited to kind of test those out. All right, guys, thanks for hanging around with me today. I know the fishing was a bust, but you know, that's part of it. Got to keep pushing. Hey, hope all your fishing adventures are going well out there. And for you bushcrafters or guys that are out there hiking, I know I've got some that do that kind of stuff. You know, check out that Kryptek tackle bag for some of your hiking or bushcraft adventures. And if you know any good recommendations on haversacks, let me know, and I'll check those out. All right, guys. Until next time, I'll see you then. Bye bye.